All right, today I'm going to be showing you how to do the strut replacement on a 2003 Acura. This will be similar to all the other Acuras with this setup. This one is the Type S. The other RSXs should be the same as well. Shocks are completely shot. Like, I mean, the other one was like completely dead, leaked out all the fluid. But only tools we're gonna need: 17 millimeter, 19 millimeter, 10 millimeter, 12 millimeter, some pliers to get out the cotter pins, and then right here we're gonna have 110 right here, 112 right here on the brake line. We got to get that out. Then we're gonna have a 19 right here, 22 to hold in the bolt, or you can use adjustable wrenches or some pliers. And then there's another bolt right there, and then there's another 19 millimeter right there. And then we're gonna go up on top. So we're gonna have three 14 millimeters. So 1, 2, 3. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. It's very simple, nothing too crazy or anything. Alright, so first thing what we want to go ahead and do, we want to pull this guy right out. This bolt's going to be a 19 millimeter. This is for the tie rod. And so this bolt's going to be lefty-loosey on this. So we're going to spin it that way, so clockwise. And then again, with leaving on this nut, we're going to go ahead and hit this right here. I'm using a 4-pound hammer just so we can pop this tie rod out away from there. And we'll just leave that right here. These are done. These are shot, so they're going to need to be replaced. All right, so next, what we're gonna go ahead and do, we're gonna go ahead and use this McPherson strut spring compressor. Part number is 27036. And then we'll basically put one in right here, and then the other end right there. So make sure you use these locking pins. This thing is the most sketchiest thing you can use. I have the actual tool for it, but I'm just gonna kind of, I know a lot of people might not have the tool, so I'm just gonna kind of go in theory with you guys. So I'll just basically go back to the Stone Age and get this all set up. If you don't have an impact gun and you're gonna be doing this, well, you're gonna be getting some muscles. Let's see. Flip it the other way. All right, and then we're gonna put one more on the opposite side. All right, so now we're all loose. Now when you're doing this, I mean when you are doing this, you need to have this strut laying down flat. Do not stand it up when you are doing this. If this starts kinking in any way, you stop what you're doing, and then you go take it to someone professional. Like if this slips right out, go take it to someone professional. They will have the equipment to fully close it and do that. You do not want to put your life in danger. It's not worth it. Like I said, these guys, again, they work, but you put your life at risk with this. So if you can't do it, I wouldn't recommend it. But just so you know, I mentioned it. So yeah. So now we're going to go ahead and take off this bolt right here. It's going to be a 17 millimeter. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and take this off. Remember, you need to make sure that you can move the spring up and down like that, and if you can, then you're all said and done. And then I'm going to be using some vice grips on the pull itself. So we're going to lock that right in. So just like that. Then we'll go ahead and take off the vice grip. We're going to replace this top hat too because these guys are shot. And then we're going to slide this right out. Again, this is the dangerous spot, so we'll keep that. Alright, so if your new shock came like this, so what we're going to go ahead and do, we're going to go ahead and spin it. So we're going to just push down a little bit. If I can. Or just put your wrench right here. And just spin it lefty. And it should open just like that. Now make sure it comes up real quick, because when I was recording earlier, I'm not going to show that part. The shock didn't move at all, so it did go bad. And then you're going to push down on it. Make sure you feel some resistance, and then it should shoot back right up. So that should be the little time frame that it goes up. It should take a few seconds. Alright, so this is good to go. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and put in our shock, but before we do that, we actually need to put a brand new bellow. You can get this at your auto parts store. For this vehicle, I use like a KYB. So SB104, that's going to be the part number. Now the thing is, when you're trying to install this, I had a little issue. So you need to push this down all the way, and I mean like all the way. So you need to open it up and get it seated in just like that, right in there, and then that's how you know you're in it. And then it'll seat right in the new in this guy right here, because you won't have enough threads to grab. We might, yeah, no, that should be more than enough. Yeah, we should be able to grab some thread. All right, so we'll toss to the side. Bring this right over. Now remember this bottom little piece right here, see where this little hook? That needs to be seated right here. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and tighten our strut. So I'm gonna hold this right here, just barely. So what I'm doing is I'm putting like a little resistance right here on the shock itself, the pole, so it could at least keep this from, because this will spin around with this nut, because this is a nylon lock washer nut. So if you ever get this stuck too, what you can do is you can, if this didn't want to come off, you can heat this up, or you can grab some pliers right here and hold that down. I mean, you can still use the pliers to hold the strut down if it's being too hard for you, but if you're going to hold it with pliers, make sure you don't do it down here. Make sure you do it up here. So we can pull off this top piece right here, this rubber boot. You just peel it back from that, or if you catch enough threads, you can use an adjustable wrench to hold it right here and get a wrench and do that for you guys that don't have an impact gun. All right, so we're pretty much ready to release the tension. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and install our shock right now. Now the shock can only go in one way, so just so you're aware of that. Okay, so while holding the shock from the bottom, you're gonna go ahead and thread these guys right in. Thread them in all by hand, and then we're gonna go ahead and tighten them right out. All right, so now we got these top bolts tightened down, and then we're gonna go from the bottom now. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and put in our shock to our spindle. Now for some of you, probably maybe your boot stretched out and your thing popped out. Mine popped out. So what we got to do is push these guys back in, because it's actually not in gear. So while spinning this, while spinning your rotor, so while I'm spinning this, you need to kind of like, just not, you got to press it in, but not push it in too hard. So all right, so we're back inside the CV axle joint. So now we're gonna spin this the proper way, and then we'll just push this guy right in. Should go in easy. If it doesn't, then obviously there's some sort of issue going on. And for the bottom bolt, if you start off with the top bolt first and you want to get in the bottom bolt, all you have to do is push towards the car, and make sure our bolts are right here on this side. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and thread in our 12 millimeter that goes on the brake line. We'll thread that in by hand. And then our ABS sensor, we're gonna go ahead and thread in too at the same time. So we're gonna go ahead and tighten down our tie rod. Now for those of you that your tie rod keeps on spinning, well, I mean, you're kind of pretty much out of luck on that one. Obviously your tie rod's gonna be really bad. If it's spinning with the bolt, then again, it's shot. What you can do is you can try to push down, really push down, and try to see if you can wiggle it back and forth. If you're doing it by hand, it's going to be really hard. If you're doing it with an impact gun, it could catch thread and tighten up fast. I still got to get a cotter pin. We'll put that right there. We're all said and done. If this video helped you out, give it a thumbs up, comment down below if you have any questions, and hit that subscribe button for more upcoming videos in the future. And thanks for watching.